For centuries, it's been one of the most sacred and most forbidden places on Earth. The Temple Mount, a place of unimaginable history, intense worship, and secrets buried under millennia of conflict and prayer. We've been told that what lies beneath its ancient stones could never be known, that the layers of history were too sacred, too volatile to ever be explored. For generations, that has been the accepted truth. But what if they were wrong? In an astonishing turn of events, scientists have found a way to see into the past, not by digging under the holy site itself, that's still impossible, but by rescuing history from the brink of destruction. Through a painstaking process, they have yielded a discovery so profound it has left experts speechless. What they found isn't a grand monument or a hidden chamber of gold, but something far more personal, far more explosive. It is a tangible link to one of the Bible's most pivotal moments, a find that adds stunning new weight to the ancient scriptures. What has been hidden from us? Why has this discovery sent shockwaves through the worlds of archaeology and theology alike? And what secrets truly lie in the soil of the Temple Mount? Prepare yourself, because the truth is more incredible than you can imagine. To understand the magnitude of this discovery, you first have to understand where it came from. This isn't just any archaeological site, this is the Temple Mount, a 37-acre compound in the heart of Jerusalem that is, without exaggeration, the most contested piece of real estate on the planet. For the Jewish people, it's the holiest site in the world. It's the location of the Even HaShetia, the foundation stone, where creation itself is said to have begun. It's the place where Abraham was prepared to offer his son, Isaac. And most importantly, it's the site of both the first temple, built by King Solomon, and the second temple, magnificently rebuilt by Herod the Great. For millennia, all Jewish prayer has been directed towards this spot, a place of profound historical memory and fervent hope for a future, prophesied third temple. Every stone breathes with the history of kings, prophets, and the very presence of God. For Christians, its significance is just as deep. This is where a young Jesus amazed the elders in the temple courts. It's the site where he taught, where he drove out the money changers, and where he prophesied the temple's own destruction, a prophecy that came to pass in 70 AD. The Mount is intrinsically linked to the life and ministry of Jesus and is central to Christian eschatology, the study of the end times. And for over 1,300 years, the Temple Mount has been a profoundly sacred site for Muslims, known as the Haram al-Sharif, or the Noble Sanctuary. It's home to the magnificent Dome of the Rock, built over the foundation stone, and the Al-Aqsa Mosque, the third holiest site in Islam. Muslims believe it is from here that the Prophet Muhammad ascended to heaven during his night journey. This convergence of faiths has made the Temple Mount a place of breathtaking beauty and unparalleled spiritual importance, but also of immense tension. The political and religious sensitivity is so extreme that a fragile agreement known as the status quo is in place, heavily restricting any actions that could be seen as altering the site. This means that for archaeologists, the Temple Mount has been a sealed book. Direct excavation is virtually impossible. To dig here would risk igniting a conflict of global proportions. The secrets of the past were believed to be locked forever beneath the stone pavement, unknowable and unreachable, until an act of destruction inadvertently opened a door.
This book is your beginner's guide to understanding Scripture. Find peace, build relationships, and discover purpose in today's world. Ready to decode the Bible? Find Bible Decoded available on Amazon now.
If this content blesses you and you'd like to support our mission, you can buy me a coffee or give a super thanks. Every contribution helps us create more content to inspire and uplift others. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on my future videos. The story of this incredible discovery begins not with a planned, careful excavation, but with an act of unauthorized construction. In 1999, a massive and controversial project was undertaken on the Temple Mount to create a new subterranean mosque in an area known as Solomon's Stables. Using heavy machinery, over 9,000 tons of earth, an estimated 100 truckloads, were dug up and unceremoniously dumped in the nearby Kidron Valley and other locations. For the archaeological world, this was a catastrophe. This wasn't just dirt, it was stratified history, soil containing priceless, microscopic artifacts from over 3,000 years of human activity was being treated like garbage. With no proper archaeological supervision, countless artifacts were crushed, broken, and lost forever. It seemed like a devastating and irreversible loss. But two Israeli archaeologists, Dr. Gabriel Barkay and Zaki Devira, refused to let this history be erased. They saw an opportunity, a chance to rescue the past from the debris. In 2004, they initiated a revolutionary project, the Temple Mount Sifting Project. It was a monumental undertaking, born from a disaster. They salvaged the tons of soil that had been dumped and moved it to a dedicated facility where, for the first time, this forbidden earth could be systematically analyzed. The process itself is a testament to scientific patience and public passion. Over the years, more than 250,000 volunteers from all over the world have come to participate. They take buckets of soil, wash it, and then painstakingly sift through it, looking for anything of significance: coins, pottery shards, jewelry, bones, and other fragments of the past. It's slow, meticulous work. It's like searching for a needle in a 9,000-ton haystack. For years, the project has yielded remarkable finds, like ancient coins and fragments of Second Temple period stone vessels. Then, one fateful day, a volunteer working alongside archaeologist Mordecai Ehrlich picked up a minuscule, unassuming piece of hardened clay. It was smaller than a thumbnail, caked in centuries of dirt. To an untrained eye, it was nothing. It could have easily been overlooked, but Ehrlich knew to look closer. As the dirt was carefully cleaned away, it became clear that this was no ordinary lump of clay. It had an impression, a mark left by an ancient seal, and on that seal were letters etched in an ancient Hebrew script. They had found something that defied all expectations. They were holding a message from a world that had been silent for over 2.5 millennia. The artifact was a bullah, a small clay impression used to seal documents and containers in the ancient world. A lump of wet clay would be pressed over the string, securing a scroll, and then an official's personal seal would be stamped into it, acting as both a signature and a security measure. When this bullah was examined under a microscope, the discovery became even more breathtaking. On its reverse side were impressions from the fabric of the bag it once sealed, and on its front, perfectly preserved, was the faint swirl of a human fingerprint left by the official who pressed the seal into the clay some 2,600 years ago. A human touch, frozen in time. But the most electrifying discovery was the inscription itself. After careful analysis, the ancient Hebrew letters were deciphered. The script was definitively from the First Temple period, dating to the late 7th or early 6th century BCE. The inscription read, "Belonging to Yediah, son of Asayahu." The names themselves were significant. Yediah is a known priestly name, but it was the name of the father, Asayahu, that sent a jolt through the research team. They immediately turned to the scriptures, to the book of 2 Kings, chapter 22. The story takes place during the reign of one of Judah's most righteous kings, King Josiah. Josiah was determined to purify his kingdom. In the 18th year of his reign, he ordered extensive repairs on Solomon's temple. During this renovation, the high priest made the discovery of a lifetime, a long-lost book of the law. When this sacred scroll was read to King Josiah, he was shaken, realizing how far his people had strayed from God's commands. In desperation, Josiah gathered his most trusted officials and sent them to inquire of the prophetess Huldah. And who was among that elite group sent on this critical mission? The Bible tells us explicitly a man named Asaiah, a servant of the king. Asayahu, the very same name inscribed on the bullah as the father of Yediah. The timeline fits perfectly. The title, Servant of the King, denoted a high-ranking official. While it's impossible to be 100% certain it's the same man, it is highly plausible that the king's trusted servant, Asaiah, is the father of the Yediah named on this seal. It's very likely that his son, Yediah, would have held a prominent position in the royal court, perhaps overseeing one of the temple's storehouses, which this bullah once sealed. Let that sink in. This tiny piece of clay, rescued from soil, ripped from the Temple Mount, isn't just a generic artifact. It is a potential link to the royal court of King Josiah himself, at the precise moment of one of the Bible's most dramatic events, the rediscovery of the Torah. It's a name from the pages of Scripture, given tangible form. The connection is simply staggering. For decades, skeptics have questioned the historical accuracy of these biblical accounts, and now a fingerprint and a name on a tiny piece of clay provides stunning corroboration. If you're finding this link between archaeology and the Bible as awe-inspiring as we are, please take a moment to hit that like button. And be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, because the implications of this discovery are even more shocking. So, what does it all mean? Why is a 2,600-year-old piece of clay causing such a stir right now? Because for millions of believers around the world, this is far more than just a historical confirmation. For them, it could be a sign, a piece of a prophetic puzzle falling into place. The discovery of any artifact connected to the First Temple is profoundly significant because of the central role the temple plays in biblical prophecy, especially concerning the end times. The fact that this artifact was unearthed in our modern era, from the sacred soil of the Temple Mount itself, has amplified its importance exponentially for many. Many turn to the book of Ezekiel. After the destruction of the First Temple, the prophet Ezekiel was given a detailed vision of a future temple. It has stood for millennia as a divine blueprint for a temple that has not yet been built. For many, any discovery that brings the reality of the First Temple into sharper focus is a reminder of this unfulfilled prophetic vision. Then there's the prophet Daniel. Daniel 9 verse 27 speaks of a future covenant and a coming figure who will cause sacrifice to cease, leading to an abomination of desolation, a prophecy intrinsically linked to the temple site. And most pointedly in the New Testament, Revelation chapter 11 speaks directly of the temple in the last days. The Apostle John is told to measure the temple of God indicating the existence of a temple in Jerusalem during the final sequence of world events. For centuries, these have been words on a page. But when a physical object, like the bullah of Yediah, son of Asayahu, is pulled from the earth, it bridges the gap between the ancient text and our present reality. It serves as a powerful reminder that the people and events described in the Bible were real. King Josiah was a real king. Isaiah was his real servant. The first temple was a real place. Could this discovery, this greeting from the past, be a nudge from God? A sign to the world to pay attention? For many in the faith community, the answer is a resounding yes. They see the return of the Jewish people to Israel, the reunification of Jerusalem, and now the unearthing of artifacts directly linked to the temple as a clear sequence pointing toward prophetic fulfillment. The question they ask is unavoidable. Could this be a sign of the times, preparing the world for the events that the prophets foretold? A tiny clay seal, lost for over 2.5 millennia in the sacred soil of the Temple Mount, has now come to light. It survived destruction, controversy, and displacement to deliver a message across time. This bullah provides a stunning affirmation of the biblical narrative, connecting our modern world to the court of one of Judah's greatest kings. It gives a name and a human touch to a pivotal moment in religious history, reinforcing the Bible's historical reliability in a place where direct proof is hardest to obtain. The discovery has left experts and the world in shock, reigniting ancient debates and future hopes. It fuels the conversation about the future of the Temple Mount and the potential fulfillment of prophecies that have captivated believers for thousands of years. We're left to wonder, what other secrets are still waiting in that displaced earth, ready to be found? And is the discovery of this seal a simple, fascinating piece of history, or is it something more, a piece of a divine puzzle, finally falling into place? What do you think? Is this find a coincidence, or is it a confirmation of something much greater? We want to hear your thoughts. Share your perspective in the comments below. And if you want to be the first to know when the next shocking discovery is revealed, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. Thank you for watching.
Feeling anxious or disconnected? Ready for a deeper faith journey designed just for you? Discover Bible Study for Black Women. This guide nurtures faith, strength, and growth week by week. Overcome fear and connect with God. This empowering journey is waiting. Find Bible Study for Black Women on Amazon today and start building unshakable faith.
If this content blesses you and you'd like to support our mission, you can buy me a coffee or give a super thanks. Every contribution helps us create more content to inspire and uplift others. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on my future videos.